Letting go is rarely easy. It is even harder when you never receive the one thing you think will help you move on: closure. In relationships, friendships, careers, dreams, and personal experiences, closure often appears to be the key to peace. We long for explanations, apologies, final words, or neat endings. But life is seldom so cooperative. Often, we're left with silence, ambiguity, or sudden disconnection. In these moments, we are forced to learn a deeper lesson: the art of letting go without closure. This essay explores what it means to let go without closure, why we crave it, and how we can begin to heal and grow even when we never get the answers we thought we needed. The human craving for closure. Humans are storytelling creatures. We seek meaning in everything. Our minds constantly interpret and construct narratives around what happens to us, especially when it involves emotional pain. When a chapter ends, we expect an epilogue. When something goes wrong, we want to understand why. This need is more than emotional, it's cognitive. Psychologists refer to this as the need for cognitive closure. It's a basic desire for a firm answer, a conclusion, a sense of certainty. Ambiguity causes discomfort. Unfinished stories generate mental loops that play over and over. We ask ourselves, what went wrong? Was it my fault? Did they ever care? Why did it have to end this way? Closure feels like a gate through which we walk toward healing. It gives structure to pain and helps us contextualize our suffering. When we don't get closure, we feel stuck, like we're trapped in a liminal space between past and future. But closure is not always possible. Some people vanish without explanation. Others are incapable of giving honest answers. In some cases, the situation itself, like the loss of someone due to tragedy, leaves no opportunity for goodbye. So what then? Are we condemned to carry unhealed wounds forever? Or is there a deeper form of acceptance available to us, one that doesn't rely on external validation? The illusion of closure. One of the most liberating realizations we can come to is this: closure is not a guarantee of peace. Even when we get the explanation we long for, it may not satisfy us. The words we crave may not be truthful, kind, or even helpful. Sometimes the truth hurts more than the mystery. Other times, it changes nothing. Closure, as we imagine it, is often a fantasy, an idealized scenario where everything is resolved neatly. But real life is messy, and so are people. Some wounds can't be stitched up by a conversation. Some endings can't be understood until much later, or perhaps never at all. This doesn't mean we should dismiss the desire for closure. It's natural. But recognizing that it may never come, or may not help even if it does, is the first step towards self-liberation. Letting go, then, becomes less about what they give us, and more about what we choose to release. Grieving the unknown. Letting go without closure is, in many ways, a form of grief. It's grieving not just what was lost, but also what was left unsaid. It's mourning the version of the story you'll never get to hear. It's the pain of unfinished emotional business. This kind of grief is ambiguous. Unlike death, where the finality forces some kind of reckoning, the absence of closure keeps the wound open. It may feel like you're grieving a ghost, something you can't quite hold or define. But grief doesn't require logic. You don't need an obituary to cry. You don't need a confession to feel betrayed. You don't need validation to feel heartbroken. The key is allowing yourself to feel what you feel, even if it doesn't make perfect sense. The pain is real, even when the story is incomplete. And in validating your own emotions, you begin the process of healing, from the inside out. Letting go without answers. So how do we actually let go when we never got the apology, the explanation, the final conversation? The first step is to shift the focus away from them and back onto you. Letting go is not something someone else grants you. It's a decision you make, repeatedly, with compassion and patience. Here are some core truths that support this process. 1. You don't need to understand everything to move on. One of the hardest things to accept is that you may never know why. But understanding is not a prerequisite for healing. You can release the need to know. You can decide to stop torturing yourself with questions that have no answers. Some things just are. Not everything needs to be solved. 2. Your pain is valid, even without external acknowledgement. Maybe they never admitted they hurt you. Maybe they minimized what happened. Maybe they acted like it never mattered. That doesn't mean your pain isn't real. You have the right to grieve what you lost, even if no one else sees it. 3. Silence can be an answer. Sometimes, the lack of closure is the closure. Someone who disappears without a word, who avoids accountability, who offers no explanation, that silence speaks. It tells you about their capacity for connection. It reflects their limitations, not your worth. 4. You can give yourself the ending you didn't get. Write the letter you never received. Say the words you wish they had said. Not for them, for you. Expressing the unsaid, even in symbolic or creative ways, can offer a powerful sense of completion. You can be the author of your own closure. The role of self-compassion. Letting go without closure is an emotional challenge, and it can stir up self-blame, shame, confusion, or anger. That's why self-compassion is vital. Treat yourself as you would treat a dear friend going through something painful and mysterious. Remind yourself, it wasn't your fault. You did your best with what you knew. You are allowed to feel hurt. You deserve peace, even if you never got justice. Self-compassion helps you stop seeking validation from the very people who wounded you. It reminds you that you are enough, not because someone said so, but because you choose to believe it. Rituals for letting go. Rituals can help create a psychological sense of closure, even when real closure is missing. These acts aren't about forgetting, but about releasing. Here are a few ideas. Writing a goodbye letter, that you never send. Burning or burying symbolic objects. Cleansing your space, emotionally and physically. Creating a timeline of your healing. Journaling the things you've learned. Each of these actions affirms, I am moving forward. I am choosing peace over answers. Redefining closure as an internal process. True closure isn't something someone else gives you. It's a process of internal reconciliation. It's a conscious decision to stop giving your energy to a story that no longer serves you. It's learning to live with questions, and finding peace in spite of them. Closure is not a destination, it's a practice. It's the quiet strength to carry your scars without needing to justify them. It's the courage to say, even though I never got what I wanted, I will still choose to heal. Why some people never offer closure. It's easy to assume that if someone really cared, they'd give us closure. But reality is more complex. Some people avoid closure because they feel guilty and want to escape. They are emotionally immature or conflict averse. They genuinely don't know how to explain their behavior. They've rewritten the story in their own mind to avoid shame. Understanding this doesn't excuse their actions, but it helps depersonalize them. People's inability to give closure often reflects their own emotional limits, not your unworthiness. Letting go as liberation. Letting go without closure is one of the most radical acts of self-love. It means no longer waiting on someone else to set you free. It means choosing your future over your past. It means no longer needing an apology to validate your truth. It's not easy. It takes time. Some days you'll feel like you've moved on. Other days, old wounds will resurface. But with each step, you'll reclaim more of your power. Letting go becomes an act of faith, not in someone else, but in yourself. Faith that you can carry your pain and still build a beautiful life. Faith that your heart can heal, even without all the answers. Faith that peace is something you can create within, no matter what chaos exists outside. Conclusion: a quiet strength. In a world that prizes resolution and rewards closure, learning to let go without it is a quiet rebellion. It's a deep, soulful strength, the kind that doesn't need applause or recognition. The kind that allows you to walk away with grace, even when the door was never properly closed. You don't have to wait for someone else to tell you it's over. You don't have to hold on to pain just because you never got the last word. You can choose peace today, not because everything makes sense, but because you deserve to be free. The art of letting go without closure isn't about forgetting, pretending, or denying. It's about choosing yourself, again and again, until the past no longer owns you. And that is the real closure.